What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your freshly 21-year-old host that does not like the taste of alcohol. It makes me sick, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/TalesOfNeckbeards. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story's called Dumb Tries to Grope My Girlfriend and Run Away. I've recently been on a Reddit video binge on YouTube and discovered the phenomenon known as the neckbeard. I then found out I've got a crap ton of stories of guys who perfectly fit the description of a neckbeard. So I ended up here. So I'm in an amazingly happy relationship with my girlfriend. We fell in love at 13, and it's been a cool 9 years since then, and it's been nothing but the greatest. I really cherish her, so due to that, I'm also super overprotective of her. Not like overprotective in a sense that I limit her, but I get really tense and agitated when a guy seems like he's hitting on her or has feelings that he really shouldn't have. I don't really want to brag either, but my girlfriend's insanely beautiful. I'll call her Jess. She gets a lot of attention, and unfortunately, with that comes a lot of unwanted attention. This was last year, and we were at a mall nearby attending our city's annual festival. We were browsing around EB Games. If you don't know what that is, it's basically Canadian GameStop. And we were chatting and making comments on the various games, figurines, and toys that occupied the shelves. We stumbled upon a copy of Fallout 4 for the Xbox. This was during the Steam summer sale, and she had picked up Fallout New Vegas and played the crap out of it. She's the type of person who really enjoys sappy stuff, so when she found out that the sole survivor's spouse dies at the start, not a spoiler, and there was a mod that allowed you to resurrect the spouse, she really wanted the game. I owed her, so I agreed and we pooled our money and found out we had $33. Perfect, since Fallout 4 is $30 on Steam. Not perfect, however, since that it's in American pesos and it's actually $40 for us Canadians. We had 33 Canadian rupees, so she voiced her disdain quite loudly. I looked around frantically since she was super freaking loud. No one paid attention, thankfully, but I noticed a guy looking at Jess kind of funnily, but paid no attention to it since I assumed he was looking at her because she was loud, and not because one of the freaking straps on her sundress had fallen off. So we kinda stand there for a bit before she does a weird thing with her chin where she pulled her head back or something. Kinda like a chicken when they do that clucking thing, but instead of clucking, she raised her eyebrow and turned around. I don't know why she did that, but after accounting about it today, she told me there was a horrible smell. I can't smell, so I didn't really pay any attention to her reaction. I hear an ahem, and then I turned around. Now, before I describe this guy, I don't mean any offense to anyone, but I really freaking hate this pathetic sack of crap, so I'm going to describe him in full freaking form. Standing in front of us was this fat lover. He had a filthy freaking black sweater, probably from the barrels of genetic material his micro-penis squirts out each day. He had this crappy anime shirt with Miku Hatsune, or whatever the hell his oily stained mouth calls it, sitting on his shirt, and it had what seemed like freaking yogurt splattered across it. God knows if it was yogurt or what people drink in hell, aka neckbeards. God save us. His hairy stomach and belly button were showing too. The acne. Oh God, the acne. I had a crap ton of acne when I was younger, but this guy, if I had the acne this guy had, I would have killed myself. Like, if skin disease were a person, it would have been whatever the hell this guy's name is, plus some dumbass words in Latin. He had like 3 chins, like a flight of freaking stairs I could climb, and a huge ass freaking mouth and lips that seemed the result of him probably doing that stupid Kylie Jenner lip challenge, where they take a cup and stick it over their mouth, but instead of taking it off, he kept it on for 7 freaking years. His nose. He had what I like to call a tooger, which is a booger's intellectually disabled brother. Just imagine it. He had a ponytail. I don't want to talk about it. No fedora, unfortunately. Jess is too innocent, and she smiled politely at the man. His eyes lit up on seeing her face, because she's beautiful, and because she's freaking Asian. Neckbeards like to fetishize Asians, if you didn't know. "A true gentleman should be able to spoil his lady," he proclaimed and revealed a $10 bill. Oh God, Jess really was too innocent. She gave a small yes at what he said, one, because she had no idea what the heck he was babbling on about, and two, because it sounded romantic or something. He beamed at the response and looked at me with the most smug freaking face in the history of existence. He handed the bill to her, and Jess smiled brightly and raised her hand. I don't think the guy knew what to do. I bet at first thought her raising her hand was a universal sign for, "I am going to have sex for a week straight with you, then live with you, giving you unconditional love." But then he realized she wanted to high-five him, and he got an erection after contact was made. I crap you not. I was flabbergasted at how his micro-penis wasn't as small as I thought, and I just stood there. Jess didn't notice. So we paid, Jess waved goodbye at the man, and we walked away. I had to take a dump, so we made a detour to a particularly quiet and empty part of the mall. The one of like 4 washrooms. No one really went here since it was the most disgusting, but I didn't really know at the time. I took a bit longer since it was dirty as hell, and I hear my girlfriend scream as I'm pulling up my pants. I ran out without washing my hands, and I saw Jess covering herself while the guy had a scowl on his face. Before I tell you what happened after, let me tell you what happened before that. Basically, Sir Craphead found Jess in the hallway and started bombarding her with questions. He asked her name, she said Jess. He gave his name, and it was something like Weeb Love Smith, and if she was Japanese, no, she responded, I'm Korean. He asked what kind of anime she watches, and since Jess is a huge anime fan, she gave him a list of her top 20 favorites. Guy gets wet since he had found his almost dream girl. And then he asks about sexual experiences. I'll be honest with you guys, since this crap is anonymous, we're both virgins and planning to stay like that until marriage. She replies with, no, I don't have any experience. She was really freaking scared and creeped out now. From what I've read, incels really hate women who have premarital sex. He was probably practically foaming at the mouth at the girl he had found. He asked about fantasies. No, she didn't have any. And Guy frowns. Then he smiled or some crap and made a move toward Jess's chest. She moves back, and that's when the scream happens and when I sprint out of the bathroom. I bought you that game! He had yelled and then said something incomprehensible. She screamed back at him and then noticed me, so she waves her arms frantically. Loveface looks behind, sees me, and starts bolting as fast as he can. Rolling a freaking cube across the hallway would be faster than this guy running. A fetus would have made it to the doors before this guy. I ran after this dumb love and pulled his hood, and he swiped my hand, and I can't make this crap up. It freaking roared, bruh! Bruh! I had stopped for a moment, trying to make sense of what happened, before I said screw it and freaking rammed my 110 kilogram body into his 250 kilogram sack of crap, and he fell to the floor. The disappointment was screaming right now. He was probably scared of what had happened now that he had been caught. The rest is history. Since the mall guards came in and they escorted us out, one of the guards questioned us and a ton of people started crowding around the hallway entrance since 4 more security guards came to try and restrain the obese love. We left since Jess is shaken up and I comforted her when we came home. We didn't really know what the hell to do, since this was the first of many instances where people had acted this way to her. We asked ourselves if we should report the guy to the police, but figured the security guards probably already did that though. I remembered the copy of Fallout 4 sitting in a bag on our couch existed, so I popped it in our Xbox, and our day became a little bit better. First off, I'm gonna come right out and say it. I love Fallout 4. It's pretty good. Fallout New Vegas is also amazing. Fallout 3 is pretty good. I'm saying this because a lot of people don't like Fallout 4, and maybe there's good reason for that, but I liked it. Fallout 76, though, I pre-ordered it, played it for 45 minutes probably, and then I've never played it again. Regarding the story, sorry, I like talking about video games. That's a Neckbeard for ya. Even though she wasn't even Japanese, she was Korean. At least she's Japanese adjacent, right? That's what the Neckbeards are thinking. Yeah, you're good enough. That's messed up. This story's called A Coworker Went Full Neckbeard Nice Guy. Never go full Neckbeard Nice Guy. Okay, so I haven't really used Reddit in the past, so forgive me if my formatting isn't great. I've seen a couple of videos about subs like this, and I figured, what the hell? Why not share my own experience with a Neckbeard coworker? To begin with, you should probably perhaps know a bit of information about me. I'm a pretty big guy, standing at over 6'6" and 15.5 stone. About 220 pounds for my American lovers. Hey. I'm also a massive metalhead and honestly look the part, with a ton of tattoos, long hair, big beard, mostly black clothes, etc. All this to say, I'm a pretty intimidating bloke physically. Honestly, personality-wise, I'm absolutely soft as anything, but I understand I'm a pretty scary fella to look at, hence why I've been working in security for almost all of my adult life. You should also know I'm absolutely gay as hell and engaged to marry the man of my dreams in the winter. Anyway, context over, this story takes place about a year ago when I was working as a bouncer at a fairly popular nightclub. It was in a pretty sketchy part of town, and I had a routine of walking the girls who worked on the bar to their cars, or waiting for their taxi with them since it really wasn't the kind of place that young lasses are safe being alone. The guy at the center of this is a bartender who we'll call Max. He was pretty much your stereotypical neckbeard, didn't have much concept of personal hygiene, wore anime shirts and stuff when he came in on his nights off, kind of unhealthily obsessed with East Asian women, which instantly became an issue for one of our female bartenders who we'll call Julia. Julia is a pretty freaking cool chick. She and I used to hang out a lot, go to gigs together, and we'd get dinner every now and then. We're still mates to this day and still hang out pretty regularly. Julia is half Korean, but was born and raised here in the UK, and has never actually been to Korea. So, as I said, Julia and I would hang out kind of a lot, and I would walk most of the girls to their cars at night. I guess Max assumed that Julia and I were dating, because one night after I'd walked one of the other girls to her car and returned to collect my stuff and go home myself, I found Max waiting for me and he looked furious. The conversation went a bit like this. "Does Julia know what you're freaking up to?" Excuse me? "Don't freaking play dumb with me. What kind of tosspot bags an absolute angel like Julia and cheats on her with a lesser being like other bartender?" Dude, what the hell are you talking about? "I'm gonna tell Julia that you're seeing other bartender." You might want to tell my actual partner, Robert, first, mate. "Wait, you and Julia aren't a couple?" Hell no, man. I don't even swing that way. Well, telling him that was a massive freaking mistake on my part. From that day until he got fired, he set his sights on the poor girl and refused to let up. At all. He would constantly refer to her as a princess and referring to non-Asian women as peasants and talking about how much less beautiful they are. He brought her flowers on 3 separate occasions, the third time with a note asking her to be his waifu. I wish I was joking about that. He also told her that metal music was too harsh for such an exquisite lady's delicate ears, and started sending her Spotify playlists of honestly kinda crappy Japanese pop music. The thing that ultimately got him sacked was when Julia got a boyfriend, and Max sent her a long text telling her she was a selfish whore, accusing her new guy of being abusive, he wasn't, saying that he couldn't appreciate her exotic brilliance, and threatening to kill himself if she didn't break up with her boyfriend for him. After he got the boot from work, he spent a few weeks tagging Julia in very incel-y memes until she blocked him, and neither of us have really heard from him since. I don't know what he's up to, but I hope he's learned his lesson and isn't harassing any more girls. Here's a little tip-a-rooney for you fellas out there. If you're looking to compliment a girl, it's better to go for something that she has some control over. And I'm not talking about her body if she's like really built or something. Unless she's like a bodybuilder and then you can be like, hey, nice biceps, how'd you do that? It doesn't matter, you can figure it out. But anyways, my point is, you want to compliment something they have control over. Like, hey, that painting looks amazing, or hey, your makeup looks fantastic. That way you're appreciating value beyond that of physical appearance, you know what I mean? Unless you're talking about the makeup, but you get what I'm saying, you get it. This story's called, Older Neckbeard Took Pics of Me at a Con, Gets Banned from the Hotel. Been a lurker for a while and figured, why not share this creepy story from my many con experiences? Disclaimer being on mobile effective now. Background. I was going to a new con with my friends. I was debuting Ruby Rose Volume 4 at the con. We decided to leave super early because we thought there was going to be a snowstorm around the time the con opened. My friend and her boyfriend stayed at my place, and my other friend would drive over to my place, and we would hop into one car and go. Me, being the mother hen, got up at around 3 a.m. to get breakfast ready for them and up and running. We got dressed and headed out. The day was an amazing day of awesome con fun. One moment I loved was I met the pink Power Ranger from Rescue, and we talked about my costume and anime. I gave her a few anime recommendations, and after a while, it hit me that I gave her, an actress, anime recommendations. Sorry, had to share it. Soon noon hit, and the tiredness hit me. My one guy friend, Rick, not real name, said he wanted to change his cosplay and wanted to head to the hotel room to change. My female friend, Olga, and her boyfriend said they'd go with him. Me being tired said, you go up, I'll chill in the lobby. I sit in the lobby staring into the abyss. Enter the Neckbeard. He didn't look like the typical Neckbeard. He was at least in his late 50s and patchy beard of white hair on his chin and neck that seemed to have a magic ability to have more hair on his face than on top of his head. A big beer belly and loomed at least 5'9". But one thing you must know, my young friends, he wore business casual, so my friends think he was some sort of creep or kid diddler at worst. I vaguely noticed the older Neckbeard glancing from his phone to me, but me being the tired mess I was, I couldn't care. After I'd say at least 6 minutes, I saw him holding his phone up. I was confused at first and just kept sitting. What finally got me out of my tired daze was badass chick asking me, hey, do you know that guy is taking pictures of you? I was stunned and just could shake my head. She sprung into action. She called her guy friends over to me and she ran to get con security. The Neckbeard saw this and quickly shoved his phone into his pocket and tried to run. Con security came and they ran after the guy. The owner of the con personally came to make sure I was okay. It was a small con. By the time the con staff chased after the guy, my friends came back, and once they heard about it, they all wanted to kill him. I had to calm everyone down, but inside, I was panicking and was near tears myself. Later on in the day, the owner of the con came to check on me again and explained that she had the guy delete the pics he took and took him to the hotel staff, and the hotel's manager had him banned. And she had him banned from the con if he ever came to the con. This con was amazing at putting me at ease. You know what, this story was nice. Because despite the inevitability, words are hard. Despite the inevitability of evil, it's really nice when people help others. Which is what you see here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.